Stories and Documentary Network. The Parthian Empire stands as a pivotal chapter in the rich tapestry of ancient Iranian history, flourishing between the Hellenistic and Sasanian eras. Its story unfolds against the backdrop of the sprawling plains, rugged mountains, and fertile valleys of the Near East, encompassing present-day Iran, Iraq, and parts of Turkey, Armenia, and Central Asia. Spanning from approximately 247 BCE to 224 CE, the Parthian Empire emerged in the aftermath of the collapse of the Seleucid Empire, filling the power vacuum and ushering in an era of significant political, economic, and cultural transformation. In contrast to the centralized rule of the Achaemenids and the Seleucids, the Parthians introduced a new paradigm of governance characterized by a blend of Iranian and nomadic traditions. The Parthians, hailing from the northeastern Iranian plateau, formed a confederation of tribes known for their equestrian skills and military prowess. Exploiting the power vacuum left by the retreating Seleucids, they established their authority over the region, inaugurating the Arsacid dynasty. The Parthian Empire reached its zenith under the rule of kings such as Mithridates II and Orodes II, expanding its borders to encompass Mesopotamia, Anatolia, and parts of the Levant. Its strategic location at the crossroads of the Silk Road facilitated thriving trade networks, fostering cultural exchange and economic prosperity. However, the Parthian Empire was not without its challenges, facing constant threats from nomadic incursions, internal power struggles, and external adversaries, notably the Roman Republic and later the Roman Empire. The origins of the Parthian tribes can be traced back to the nomadic peoples inhabiting the vast steppes of Central Asia and the northeastern plateau of Iran. These tribes, known collectively as the Parthians or Parni, were renowned for their equestrian skills, archery prowess, and pastoral lifestyle. The Parthians were part of the wider Iranian ethno-linguistic group, sharing cultural and linguistic affinities with other Iranian peoples such as the Medes, Persians, and Scythians. Among the Parthian tribes, one group, led by a chieftain named Arsaces, Arshak in Persian, rose to prominence in the late 3rd century BCE. According to historical accounts, Arsaces led his tribe in a revolt against the Seleucid Empire, seizing control of the northeastern provinces of Iran. This marked the beginning of the Parthian challenge to Seleucid authority and the establishment of an independent Parthian state. The Seleucid Empire, founded by Seleucus I Nicator, was the last remnant of Alexander the Great's vast conquests in the Near East. However, by the 3rd century BCE, Seleucid authority had waned, and the empire was plagued by internal strife, administrative corruption, and external threats from neighboring powers such as the Ptolemaic kingdom in Egypt and the rising power of Rome. Seizing the opportunity presented by Seleucid weakness, Arsaces and his successors waged a series of campaigns to expand their territory and consolidate Parthian control over the region. Through a combination of military prowess, diplomatic maneuvering, and alliances with local discontented satraps, provincial governors, the Parthians gradually asserted their dominance over Media, Hyrcania, and other northeastern provinces. The decisive turning point came with the Battle of Carrhae in 53 BCE, where the Parthian general Serena inflicted a crushing defeat on the Roman forces led by Marcus Licinius Crassus. The victory at Carrhae not only secured Parthian territorial gains but also demonstrated the formidable military capabilities of the Parthian cavalry, particularly their expertise in mounted archery. Following the defeat of Crassus, the Parthians further expanded their influence into Mesopotamia, establishing the city of Ctesiphon as their capital and solidifying their control over the vital trade routes connecting the Mediterranean world with the Far East. By the end of the 1st century BCE, the Parthian Empire had emerged as a major power in the Near East, challenging the hegemony of Rome and shaping the geopolitical landscape of the region. The Parthian Empire was ruled by the Arsacid dynasty, named after its legendary founder Arsaces. The Arsacids governed through a combination of hereditary monarchy and feudal aristocracy, with power centralized in the hands of the king, Shah, and his close circle of nobles and military commanders. The early Arsacid rulers faced the formidable task of consolidating their authority over a diverse and ethnically heterogeneous empire, comprising not only Iranian peoples but also Greeks, Semites, and others. To maintain stability and ensure loyalty among their subjects, the Arsacids adopted a policy of religious tolerance and administrative flexibility, allowing local customs and traditions to coexist alongside Parthian rule. Under the leadership of dynamic monarchs such as Mithridates II and Herodes II, the Parthian Empire reached its zenith, expanding its borders to encompass territories stretching from the Euphrates River to the Hindu Kush Mountains. The Arsacid kings pursued ambitious military campaigns, diplomatic alliances, and economic policies aimed at enhancing the wealth and prestige of their empire. Despite occasional internal strife and succession crises, the Arsacid dynasty endured for over 4 centuries, providing a stable foundation for Parthian governance and fostering cultural exchange and artistic patronage. However, by the 3rd century CE, the Parthian Empire began to decline in the face of external pressures from the Sasanian Persians in the east and the Roman Empire in the west, leading to its eventual downfall and the emergence of new dynasties in the Iranian plateau. The Parthian kings wielded significant centralized authority as the supreme rulers of the empire. They were responsible for enacting laws, overseeing the military, collecting taxes, and conducting diplomacy with foreign powers. The king's court, known as the Royal Council, Diwan, served as the administrative hub where important decisions were made and policies were formulated. However, despite the centralization of power in the hands of the king, the Parthian Empire maintained a degree of administrative decentralization, particularly in its far-flung provinces. Local governors, known as satraps or kshatrapans, were appointed to oversee the administration of specific regions. These satraps exercised considerable autonomy in managing local affairs, including taxation, justice, and defense, provided they remain loyal to the central authority in Ctesiphon. Satraps played a crucial role in the governance of the Parthian Empire, acting as the king's representatives in the provinces. They were typically members of the Parthian nobility or local aristocracy, chosen for their loyalty, administrative competence, and military prowess. Satraps were entrusted with maintaining order, collecting taxes, and defending their territories against external threats. The Parthian Empire relied on the support of local rulers and tribal chiefs to administer remote and culturally distinct regions. These local rulers were often granted a degree of autonomy in exchange for their allegiance to the Parthian crown. By incorporating indigenous elites into the imperial administration, the Parthians sought to foster stability and mitigate resistance to their rule. One of the key challenges facing the Parthian rulers was the need to cultivate loyalty and cooperation among the empire's ethnically diverse subjects. To achieve this, the Parthians pursued a policy of religious tolerance and cultural accommodation, allowing local customs and traditions to flourish alongside Parthian culture. The Parthians actively promoted a sense of shared identity and loyalty through the dissemination of imperial ideology, the patronage of religious institutions, and the integration of diverse ethnic groups into the military and administrative apparatus of the empire. For example, Parthian kings often depicted themselves in artwork and inscriptions as divine rulers ordained by the gods to rule over a vast and harmonious empire. Despite occasional revolts and rebellions, the Parthian Empire succeeded in maintaining relative stability and cohesion throughout much of its existence, owing in part to its flexible and pragmatic approach to governance. However, the challenges of governing a multicultural and multi-ethnic empire ultimately contributed to the decline of Parthian power and the rise of new dynasties in the Near East. Central to the military might of the Parthian Empire was its cavalry, particularly the cataphracts and horse archers. Parthian horse archers were famed for their exceptional skill in mounted archery, utilizing composite bows with remarkable accuracy and range. This allowed them to harass enemy forces from a distance while maintaining mobility and flexibility on the battlefield. Parthian cataphracts, heavily armored cavalry armed with lances and swords, provided the backbone of the Parthian shock troops, capable of delivering devastating charges against enemy formations. The combination of swift horse archers and heavily armored cataphracts gave the Parthians a distinct advantage in maneuver warfare, allowing them to exploit weaknesses in enemy lines and conduct hit-and-run tactics with deadly efficiency. One of the most distinctive tactics employed by the Parthians was the Parthian shot, a military maneuver where mounted archers would feign retreat, luring pursuing enemy forces into a trap before turning around to unleash a barrage of arrows upon their pursuers. This tactic relied on the mobility and agility of Parthian cavalry to outmaneuver and outflank larger, more heavily armed opponents. In addition to the Parthian shot, the Parthians utilized other innovative tactics such as the use of camel-mounted archers, night raids, and ambushes to disrupt enemy supply lines and communications, These tactics allowed the Parthians to wage a highly effective guerrilla-style warfare, wearing down enemy forces through attrition and exploiting their vulnerabilities. The Parthian Empire and the Roman Republic Empire engaged in a series of conflicts and diplomatic maneuvers over control of contested territories in the Near East, notably Mesopotamia and Armenia. The Parthian-Roman rivalry was fueled by competing geopolitical interests, trade routes, and ambitions for regional hegemony. One of the most significant clashes between the Parthians and Romans occurred at the Battle of Carrhae in 53 BCE, where the Parthian general Serena decisively defeated the Roman forces led by Marcus Licinius Crassus. The defeat at Carrhae was a humiliating blow to Roman prestige and demonstrated the effectiveness of Parthian cavalry tactics against conventional Roman infantry formations. Despite occasional setbacks, the Parthians and Romans continued to vie for dominance in the Near East through a combination of military campaigns, proxy wars, and diplomatic negotiations. The Parthians skillfully exploited divisions within the Roman Empire, forging alliances with rival factions and playing them off against each other to maintain a balance of power in the region. Ultimately, the Parthian-Roman rivalry persisted for centuries, shaping the political landscape of the Near East and influencing the trajectories of both empires. While the Parthians were eventually supplanted by the Sasanian Persians in the 3rd century CE, their military legacy and strategic acumen left an indelible mark on the annals of ancient warfare and continue to inspire study and fascination to this day. The Silk Road served as the primary artery for the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies between East and West. Caravans laden with silk, spices, precious metals, gems, textiles, ceramics, and other commodities traversed the vast expanse of the Parthian Empire, linking the markets of China, India, Persia, Mesopotamia, and the Mediterranean basin. The Parthian Empire's central position along the Silk Road routes enabled it to capitalize on the lucrative trade networks that spanned Eurasia. Parthian merchants, known for their entrepreneurial spirit and cosmopolitan outlook, played a vital role in facilitating commerce and fostering cultural exchange between diverse civilizations. To maximize their economic influence, the Parthians strategically controlled key trade hubs and commercial centers along the Silk Road routes. Cities such as Ctesiphon, Seleucia, Hatra, Palmyra, and Nisa served as bustling entrepôts where goods from distant lands were bought, sold, and exchanged. Ctesiphon, situated on the banks of the Tigris River near modern-day Baghdad, emerged as the capital of the Parthian Empire and a thriving nexus of trade and commerce. Its strategic location between the Persian Gulf and the Mediterranean Sea made it an ideal hub for maritime and overland trade routes, attracting merchants, artisans, and diplomats from across the known world. The Parthian Empire employed a sophisticated system of tribute and taxation to finance its imperial administration, maintain its military forces, and fund monumental construction projects. Tribute payments were extracted from subject peoples and vassal states as a form of acknowledgement of Parthian suzerainty and protection. In addition to tribute, the Parthian rulers imposed various taxes on economic activities such as agriculture, commerce, and artisanal production. Land taxes, kharaj, were levied on agricultural produce, while customs duties, kharaj-i-darbar, were collected on goods passing through trade routes and ports. These revenues were administered by provincial governors and tax collectors appointed by the central government. Despite the burdens of taxation, the Parthian Empire generally maintained a favorable environment for trade and commerce, allowing merchants to operate freely and fostering commercial innovation and entrepreneurship. The wealth generated from trade and taxation fueled the expansion of Parthian power, financed monumental building projects, and sustained a flourishing cultural and artistic scene. One of the defining characteristics of Parthian culture was its syncretic nature, blending elements from various religious traditions, including Zoroastrianism, Hellenistic religion, Mesopotamian mythology, and local cults and deities. The Parthian rulers adopted a pragmatic approach to religion, promoting religious tolerance and accommodating diverse belief systems within the empire. Zoroastrianism, the ancient Iranian religion, remained influential among the Parthian elite, serving as a unifying cultural and ideological force. However, other religious traditions, such as Greek polytheism, Mesopotamian cults, and Eastern mystery religions, also coexisted alongside Zoroastrianism, reflecting the multicultural and cosmopolitan nature of Parthian society. This religious syncretism was manifested in the iconography, rituals, and architectural patronage of the Parthian rulers, who often depicted themselves in artwork and inscriptions as divine monarchs ordained by the gods to rule over a harmonious and prosperous empire. The Parthian Empire inherited and assimilated artistic traditions from the preceding Hellenistic and Achaemenid Persian civilizations, resulting in a rich synthesis of Greco-Persian artistic styles. Greco-Roman motifs, such as architectural orders, sculptural techniques, and mythological themes, were seamlessly integrated with Persian decorative elements, creating a distinctive visual aesthetic that epitomized Parthian artistic expression. Parthian art encompassed a wide range of media, including sculpture, painting, metalwork, ceramics, and textiles. Monumental sculptures of Parthian kings and deities adorned public spaces, while intricately decorated metalwork and ceramics served as luxury goods for the elite. The Parthian rulers were prolific builders, commissioning grandiose palaces, fortified cities, and monumental monuments that showcased their wealth, power, and cultural sophistication. Ctesiphon, the Parthian capital, boasted impressive architectural marvels, including the Takht Khazra, the largest single-span brick arch in the world, and the royal palace of Khosrau, a sprawling complex of audience halls, courtyards, and gardens. Other notable architectural achievements of the Parthian Empire include the city of Hatra, a UNESCO World Heritage Site renowned for its defensive fortifications and ornate temples dedicated to various deities, and the rock-cut reliefs of Behistun, which commemorated Parthian military victories and royal genealogy. The Parthians were also adept at urban planning, with well-designed cities featuring gridiron street layouts, public baths, markets, and religious sanctuaries. These urban centers served as vibrant hubs of commerce, culture, and intellectual exchange, attracting scholars, artisans, and merchants from across the empire and beyond. Throughout its history, the Parthian Empire was plagued by internal power struggles and succession disputes among rival factions within the royal family and the nobility. The decentralized nature of Parthian governance, with power distributed among regional satraps and local rulers, often exacerbated tensions and rivalries among competing elites vying for control over the throne. Succession crises were particularly destabilizing, as rival claimants to the throne would vie for support from powerful nobles, military commanders, and foreign allies, leading to armed conflicts and civil wars. These internal divisions weakened the central authority of the Parthian kings, making the empire vulnerable to external aggression and undermining its ability to govern effectively. The Parthian Empire faced persistent threats from external adversaries, most notably the Roman Republic and later the Roman Empire, which sought to expand their territorial holdings into the Near East. The Parthian-Roman rivalry, characterized by intermittent conflicts, diplomatic maneuvering, and proxy wars, drained the resources and manpower of both empires and destabilized the region. The Roman conquests of Mesopotamia and Armenia, coupled with the annexation of client kingdoms and buffer states along the eastern frontier, posed a direct challenge to Parthian territorial integrity and hegemony. Parthian attempts to counter Roman expansionism often ended in stalemate or outright defeat, further weakening the empire's position and undermining its prestige. In addition to Roman pressure, the Parthian Empire also faced threats from other neighboring powers, such as the Kushans in Central Asia, the nomadic tribes of the Eurasian steppes, and the incursions of the Sasanians in Persia. These external pressures compounded the internal challenges facing the Parthian rulers, contributing to the erosion of imperial authority and the fragmentation of Parthian territory. Amidst the backdrop of internal strife and external threats, a new dynasty emerged in Persia in the 3rd century CE, known as the Sasanian Empire. Led by the ambitious Ardashir I, the Sasanians sought to restore Persian greatness and reclaim the imperial legacy of the Achaemenid kings. The Sasanian rise to power was facilitated by a combination of military conquests, religious zeal, and administrative reforms. Ardashir I and his successors capitalized on Parthian weaknesses and exploited popular discontent with Parthian rule to rally support for their cause. The decisive Battle of Hormozgan in 224 CE, where the Sasanians defeated the last Parthian king, Artabanus V, marked the end of Parthian sovereignty and the beginning of Sasanian hegemony in Persia. The Parthian Empire served as a bridge between the ancient Achaemenid and Sasanian Persian civilizations, providing a template for governance, military organization, and cultural expression that would be adopted and adapted by subsequent Iranian dynasties. The Sasanian Empire, in particular, drew upon Parthian administrative practices, Zoroastrian religious traditions, and imperial ideology to consolidate its rule and project Persian power across the Near East. The Sasanians built upon the foundation laid by the Parthians, further refining and expanding upon their achievements in architecture, art, and literature. The enduring legacy of Parthian influence can be seen in the monumental rock reliefs, grandiose palaces, and elaborate urban planning of Sasanian Persia, which reflected a continuation of Parthian artistic and architectural traditions. The Parthian Empire's strategic position at the crossroads of the ancient Silk Road trade routes facilitated the flow of goods, ideas, and cultures between East and West. Parthian control of key trade hubs such as Ctesiphon, Seleucia, and Hatra ensured the prosperity of the Silk Road commerce and contributed to the flourishing of urban centers and commercial networks across Eurasia. Parthian merchants played a crucial role in facilitating trade along the Silk Road, acting as intermediaries between East and West and fostering cultural exchange and technological diffusion. Parthian caravan cities, such as Nisa and Merv, served as vital nodes along the trade routes, offering rest, refreshment, and protection to travelers and traders journeying across the vast expanse of the Parthian Empire. The Parthian Empire's legacy as a commercial and cultural hub of the Silk Road trade network endured long after its demise, influencing the development of subsequent trading networks and contributing to the emergence of cosmopolitan cities and multicultural societies throughout the region. The Parthian Empire's cultural and artistic contributions left an enduring mark on the global heritage of the ancient world. Parthian art and architecture, characterized by its synthesis of Greco-Roman and Persian influences, served as a testament to the empire's cultural diversity and artistic sophistication. Parthian artistic achievements, including monumental sculptures, intricate metalwork, and vibrant ceramics, reflected the empire's cosmopolitan outlook and its embrace of cultural syncretism. Parthian rock reliefs, such as those at Behistun and Nakush-e-Rustam, commemorated royal victories and celebrated the divine mandate of Parthian kingship, contributing to the visual narrative of ancient Iranian history. In literature, Parthian contributions are less well documented but nonetheless significant. Parthian court poets and historians, such as Mani and Kurder, composed works that chronicled the achievements of Parthian kings and preserved the cultural memory of the empire for posterity. Early Western scholarship on the Parthians, influenced by classical sources and colonial perspectives, often depicted them as barbaric nomads who usurped the legacy of the Hellenistic world. However, as archaeological excavations and epigraphic discoveries shed new light on Parthian civilization, scholars began to reassess traditional narratives and recognize the empire's complexity and sophistication. In the 20th and 21st centuries, interdisciplinary approaches combining archaeology, numismatics, epigraphy, and textual analysis have revolutionized our understanding of Parthian history. Scholars have focused on topics such as administrative structures, economic networks, social dynamics, and cultural interactions to reconstruct the contours of Parthian society and governance. Despite significant advancements in Parthian studies, scholars continue to grapple with challenges in studying and reconstructing Parthian society. The scarcity of primary sources, particularly indigenous Parthian texts and inscriptions, poses a significant obstacle to understanding Parthian governance, ideology, and daily life. Furthermore, the fragmented nature of the archaeological record, compounded by centuries of looting, destruction, and neglect, hampers efforts to reconstruct Parthian material culture and urban landscapes. The reliance on Greek and Roman sources, which often present biased or incomplete perspectives on Parthian civilization, complicates efforts to achieve a balanced and nuanced understanding of Parthian history. Interdisciplinary collaborations and methodological innovations, such as the application of remote sensing technologies, isotopic analysis, and digital humanities approaches, offer promising avenues for overcoming these challenges and advancing our knowledge of Parthian society. By integrating diverse sources of evidence and adopting comparative frameworks, scholars aim to unravel the complexities of Parthian civilization and shed new light on its contributions to world history. In recent years, there has been a growing recognition of the Parthian Empire's significance in shaping the geopolitical landscape of the ancient Near East and its enduring contributions to world history. Parthian rulers, such as Mithridates II and Herodes II, presided over a vast and prosperous empire that rivaled Rome in power and influence. Parthian contributions to trade, commerce, and cultural exchange along the Silk Road have received renewed attention, highlighting the empire's role as a vital conduit between East and West. The Parthians' mastery of mounted warfare, military tactics, and diplomatic maneuvering left a lasting legacy that influenced subsequent dynasties and empires in the region. The Parthian Empire's cultural syncretism, artistic patronage, and religious tolerance fostered a dynamic and cosmopolitan society that enriched the cultural heritage of the ancient world. Parthian art, architecture, and literature continue to inspire fascination and admiration, inviting reassessment of the empire's place in the pantheon of ancient civilizations. The Parthian Empire stands as a testament to the resilience, complexity, and enduring legacy of ancient civilizations. From its humble origins as a confederation of nomadic tribes to its zenith as a dominant power in the Near East, the Parthians left an indelible mark on the landscape of antiquity and the course of world history. At its height, the Parthian Empire controlled vast territories stretching from Mesopotamia to Central Asia, serving as a pivotal hub of trade, commerce, and cultural exchange along the ancient Silk Road routes. Parthian rulers, such as Mithridates II and Herodes II, wielded considerable influence on the geopolitical stage, challenging the might of Rome and shaping the destiny of the Near East. The enduring significance of the Parthian Empire lies not only in its military conquests and territorial expansion but also in its cultural syncretism, artistic patronage, and administrative innovations. Parthian art and architecture, characterized by its blend of Greco-Roman and Persian influences, continue to captivate scholars and enthusiasts, offering insights into the multicultural tapestry of ancient civilization. In the broader narrative of ancient civilizations, the Parthian Empire occupies a unique and dynamic role, bridging the gap between the Hellenistic world of Alexander the Great and the Sasanian Persia of later antiquity. Its legacy as a cosmopolitan hub of trade, a bastion of military innovation, and a patron of the arts contributes to our understanding of the interconnectedness of human societies and the enduring quest for power, wealth, and cultural exchange. As we look to the future, there remain countless avenues for further research and exploration into the mysteries of the Parthian Empire. Advances in archaeology, technology, and interdisciplinary collaboration offer unprecedented opportunities to unravel the complexities of Parthian society, governance, and culture. By embracing these challenges and building upon the foundations laid by past scholars, we can continue to expand our knowledge of the Parthian Empire and appreciate its enduring significance in the mosaic of ancient civilizations.